Hello and welcome to another Wi-Fi Sheep Tech video with me, Tom. Now finally, I actually get to talk about this, get time to make a video to talk about this, which is the NES Classic Edition, also known as the NES Mini. Now, if you've been lucky enough to get hold of one of these, you'll know there's been a couple of issues, and that's what I want to talk about today. So it's not really about the gameplay or the menus or all the things you're going to add or take away from them that have come out in recent times, because that's already been covered and I'm not going to go over that. What I want to talk about is the technical specs of this console and actually what it's like to try and live with and use as a games console. So very quick unboxing, because again those sort of videos bore me as well. If I can get into it. So this is a European version, and even that has a few issues that we'll come to. So you've probably seen, if you either own these or you've seen these, the actual console itself, tiny little reproduction of the NES Mini or Classic. Then you get a faithful reproduction of a controller, USB lead, HDMI lead, and for the European version, believe it or not, that's it. And that's caused a few gripes, because if you have the US version you get a power supply, an AC power adapter. European one you don't. All you get is a USB lead like so, and you've got to supply your own power adapter. Now I found that the ones for the iPads, the original iPads, iPad 1s, work quite well. You need something that's going to kick out 5 volts, about 2 amps, 5 volts, etc. So that works quite well, and that's what I've been using. I've also been testing with a Raspberry Pi power supply. Again, these are 5 volts, 2 amps. Same plug that's required. I think it's the Mini, was it the micro USB? I forget. There's two small USB standards, and I forget which one it is it uses. I think it's micro USB, and that works quite well as well. Why we didn't get an AC power adapter in the package, I have no idea. Same price as the US version, but we just didn't get anything with it, so move that out of the way. Yeah, so the console itself, what's the technical specs? Well, there was a lot of speculation about what was actually inside this little thing. It is actually a ARM-based board. Now people said, oh, is that just like the Raspberry Pi? Well, interesting to mention there. I have here a Raspberry Pi Model A, which I'll just take out very quickly. Again, these boxes up and just stuff all sorts inside them, but there we are. So that's an original Raspberry Pi Model A Plus. And the board inside the Classic Edition is very similar. It is a custom board to Nintendo, but it uses a very similar technology to the Raspberry Pi. It's still an ARM processor. It has the same amount of memory, that's 256 megabytes of RAM. The difference is that this has a Broadcom single core ARM processor, and surprisingly the Classic Edition uses an Allwinner, which is a slightly cheaper brand of ARM chip, an Allwinner quad core processor, which is impressive. So it's basically 4 single core CPUs stacked on top of each other. Quite why you need that, I'm not entirely sure, but it could just be down to what specs were available, what parts you could get hold of, as this console is built out of basically off-the-shelf components. So is it very similar to a Raspberry Pi? Yes. Could you take a Raspberry Pi and create a better emulated version of this console? Yes, you could. It'd be quite possible to do it, but that's kind of not the point, and that's what I'm trying to get across here. It's more about having this as an official Nintendo product. That said, there are other issues, and for me, one of the biggest bugbearers is the controller. I mean, seriously, it's been reported on many other YouTube channels. You'll know about this. If I can get it in camera. Look at that. That's the controller length. That's ridiculous. That's 2 foot. So the problem I was having trying to play this is you set your console up next to all your other consoles in your living room, your bedroom. So I put it next to me, N64 or PlayStation 2, whatever I've got, right? and I'm trying to plug this controller in, and you can't do it. So you've got to move the console next to you, which means you've got to have a long HDMI lead dragging back to the TV, and it just didn't work. Really, really irritating. So I thought, well, can I get hold of a better additional controller? Well, at the time, when this first came out, there wasn't really anything available. So looked on the open market and thought, what do I have available? Well, and originally I came up with this, which is a third-party clone Wii controller, Wii Classic type controller, because apparently the plugs, which I can confirm are the same, and these things were meant to work with the NES Mini. Fantastic, I thought. It does plug in. Does this controller work? No. Yeah. Apparently, not all Nintendo compatible Wii controllers are made equal. And it would seem from this one that it doesn't work. And there's been a couple of imitation NES controllers on the market that also don't work. So this for me, I thought, well, I don't dare buy anything, even though it says it's going to work with this console, because it might not. So this kind of dragged on well past Christmas into the early part of this year. And I just thought, well, I wasn't using the console because of all these shortcomings. It was not nice to use. Anyway, I now found a solution. Not the best solution in the world, but a solution. I bought off Amazon these controllers, which are Auxili, I don't know how if you pronounce that, another strange name. This is a generic brand of NES clone controller. And for 16 Great British pounds, that's including postage, you actually get two. Move some things out of the way. There we go. So these are clone imitation controllers. I've got one in a sort of more traditional light grey colour. And they have one in sort of a Vader black type decor, which is quite cool. So it's quite nice to have two controllers that are actually different to each other, which I think, I like that. It works. Now, what's the build quality of these controllers like? Well, they're cheap. I'm not going to lie to you, they're cheap. I mean, they work, but they're clunky. When I was asked to make a review on Amazon, whenever you buy an Amazon product, you're asked to make a review for one of these, and I said, yeah, great, but a bit clunky. Especially when you compare it to the official Nintendo one for the console, which is smoother and a bit quieter. Saying that, I think these things would sort of use in, if you like, played in, what's the word, sort of soften the buttons up. And a big advantage, huge advantage. Look at that. I can't even get that into the shot. No, that's not happening. Yeah. 6 foot cable. All of a sudden, my NES Classic Edition can sit with the other consoles by the TV. I can sit on the sofa, away from it, and I can play quite happily with one of these controllers. Yeah, they're cheap, they're not the same. But, you know, it works, it's good enough. And the fact is I've now got two controllers for a fraction of the price of what an official controller would cost if you can get hold of them. Plus, if you buy an official NES controller, well, you're going to run into the same problems of A, they're very expensive, and B, you're going to get 2 foot cable. So you've got to buy extenders, and then do the extenders work? Does anything work? Actually, that's the point. Well, I remember using any compatible Wii controller that does actually work. This one, of course, doesn't. The Wii seems to have this plastic clip just here, which prevents you, if you plug into player 1 and then you try and plug something to player 2, that not happening because this plastic clip which you've only got to take off. So just fraught with problems and issues. Anyway, I'll plug it all in. I'm not really going to go into gameplay too much, but I'll plug it all in and I'll just show you how the controllers kind of feel and work, etc. So yeah, using the imitation clone controllers, let's try Bubble Bobble. Again, I'm not really going to go into the games or the OS on this too much because it's been covered to death on YouTube. One of my favourite games, this. And also, less likely to get a copyright strike, which is nice. I've kept the sound on the telly purposefully low so you can just hear how clunky the controllers actually are. I mean, it's alright. Certainly usable. It's not, I don't know, it's not something that particularly bothers me, but you might want to make your own judgment on that. I usually play this a bit better than this. It's because I'm at a weird angle. Gamers' excuses for you. There you go. Yeah, so I mean it's alright. It does get a little bit wearing after time, I think all the just a slightly stiff clunky feel, which I don't know if it's just the fact that, as I said, playing the controllers in a bit, I might soften up with time. I don't know. It's possible. I just know it is definitely a more stiffer button configuration than the official Nintendo product, but and that noise of the button clicking could, you know, could become infuriating. I don't know. Anyway, there we are. So we'll just reset that. Yeah, so certainly usable. And there we go. That is the NES Classic Edition review right here on Wi-Fi Sheep with a console that now actually works and is remotely usable, which is quite frankly amazing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, and of course you can follow me at TomW_ident. That's at TomW_ident on Twitter. Until next time, bye for now. Okay, I was just playing a bit of Super Mario Brothers 3. I've got stuck. What on earth? Is this a glitch known about in this game? Seriously? I can't do anything. Okay, I'm completely stuck. That's got to be an error, surely. What on earth? Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna run out of time here. Yeah, I know. I can't do anything. I'm stuck. Oh, God. Seriously, I may have found a glitch. I don't know if this is probably well documented, but let's assume it isn't. Super Mario Bros. 3 World 4? Yeah, I think World 4. Sorry. Oh, I can't do any. I literally can't do anything. I'm not resetting, so I just select time run. Oh man. Okay. You don't say. World 3. Bug is in World 3. Unreal.